Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Crypto Empire, where we dominate the crypto market. I am your host here, Connor from Crypto Empire. Welcome to the live stream. Another Sunday, it's time to get down to business. I want to welcome everybody to today's stream. I can already see CRO8 with us saying g'day from Australia. Thanks once again for sharing your crypto wisdom with a thumbs up. I'm very happy to be on here today, and we do have a lot to talk about. There is a lot to share. A lot of new details coming out about the FTX collapse. Grayscale is in hot water now. A lot of big institutions are in hot water facing liquidity crunches. And I don't think that the max pain scenario has played out yet. Most likely we are setting up for another massive capitulation. So we'll be discussing all of that during this live stream. Buckle up, strap in. It's going to be an awesome show. Let's get right down to business. Big shout out to Pascal Joffrey saying hello. What's going on, Pascal? Shout out to Rigoberto Chavez saying happy Sunday, everyone. What's happening, Rigoberto? We also have Ramona, we have Ghost, and we have Moby Sage with us live in the audience. Welcome, everybody. I appreciate your support. Let's start off the live stream with our crypto market overview and then really get into those juicy details. So looking at the overall crypto market, as of right now, Bitcoin trading for $16,534, and we have Ethereum trading for $1,177. Now Ethereum, the FTX hacker, right? Remember when FTX was going down, they stopped all withdrawals, then they got hacked, quote unquote. We don't know if that was an inside job or what. Regardless, they took all of the stolen money into Ethereum, and now that hacker is reportedly selling all the Ethereum into Bitcoin. So we're seeing ETH down 3% on the day, and Bitcoin is only down 0.8%. And most likely that is why millions and millions of dollars in Ethereum being sold off into Bitcoin today. And we're going to continue to watch how that does develop. But even just looking at these prices here, things have been sitting on support, and really nothing has been gaining or losing except for some very rare outliers out there. Looking at the gainers and losers list, we have Cream Finance, right? Crypto rules everything around me. That's what Cream stands for. An OG DeFi token coming back from the dead, up 100%. Not sure what happened there. But if we look at the top gainers, really just kind of offbeat coins, nothing major is moving right now. And same thing with the top losers. Chili's down 18% after pumping like crazy on Friday. But really the gainers and losers are, fan tokens for football for the World Cup and some other stuff. So everything for the most part is sideways and flat. And let's discuss that with our Bitcoin technical analysis. So if we look at this daily chart on Bitcoin, we're seeing some big compression here. Price is coiling up. The energy is building. Eventually, this low volatility will lead to a period of expansion, high volatility, where that energy gets released. I think it's going to be to the downside, especially with all these recent findings coming to light, and we'll see what happens with Grayscale. Now, before I really get into this TA, let me catch up with the live chat. We have 44 viewers and only 11 likes right now. Go ahead, if you're enjoying the stream, smash up that like button. I greatly appreciate your support, and it helps grow the channel. So smash up that like button. Thank you very much. Reverend Flashback saying, hi, Connor. Nice to see you. How are you doing? I'm doing very well, Reverend. Doing well. Took a break yesterday. Didn't really look at the screens too much at all, right? Got to distract yourself from this boring market. But I'll be showing with you what I've been trading, etc. in a bit. But yeah, doing well. Thank you for asking. Sniff saying where we dominate the market. You got it, Sniff. Absolutely. Eddie saying hello from Cali. What's happening, Eddie? White Jazz with us. We got Mr. H from the UK. We got Jamie L from Ireland. And we have Amsterdam saying, greetings, Connor. Hope you're well. Why don't you think Max Payne has yet been reacted with all the FUD, FTX events, etc.? Wouldn't Max Payne be BTC mooning now that everyone is waiting for bottom? Good point, Amsterdam. A little bit of reverse psychology with your question there. And yeah, Max Payne would be for things to start ripping up from here. But to me, Max Payne is more selling off here because it's looking like I'll be getting into it in the stream. I have all of it prepared already. But basically, a lot of big institutions, a lot of big firms are in liquidity crunches, and they need money, and the only way to get capital is to basically sell any remaining assets that they have right now, which is going to cause a ton of selling pressure on the market. And we still don't know all the collateral damage yet from FTX going down. So that's why I think we're going to go lower here in the short term. Everybody with us today from all over the world. We have a global audience here at Crypto Empire. We got Torben saying hi from New Zealand. First show on the live. What's happening, Torben? St. Albans. We got Poland from Cryptoverse Explorer. We got Pascal from Chile. Love the worldwide audience here with us today. Greatly appreciate all of your support. I am over here in the Garden State of New Jersey, and it's very good to connect with everybody from all around the world. Now, let's get into Bitcoin and altcoins right now. By the way, CR08, my thoughts on SNM. I can't really speak about it, never really heard of it. But it's up 900% on the day. No idea what this thing is. Take a look at that in a little bit. So Bitcoin, what do we have to talk about here? Price coiling up all week long. If we go to the 4 hour, we've been going sideways. Nothing happened this past week at all. We tried, if we looked at this chart, we really tried to get up and close above the $17,000 price level this week. But every time the Bitcoin price made it up to 17K, we got rejected back down to support. Now, we have broken this support trend line from the most recent capitulation, which happened over here on November 9th, that Wednesday. That's the bear market low as of right now at $15,450. All I did was I drew a trend line, and we did break that trend line to the downside, all right? So as of right now, this is a very bearish looking chart on the weekly, on the daily, on the 4 hour. The 1 hour is just sideways choppy, not really giving any clues. But all the metrics are pointing towards another sell-off right now, right? We have price losing its support levels, getting rejected from resistance. It's really not looking too great for Bitcoin, and eventually this is going to have to give. Most likely it will give this week. Big support down here at 16,200. If that's lost, we go to 15,875, and then really that's the last remaining level on the daily before new lows, before we crash to new lows down here. And yeah, I would not be surprised to see $12,000 Bitcoin. Very, very possible. And this is going to be a generational buying opportunity. Like I discussed last week, we're most likely going to look back years from now and wish we had something like this again. Even now with Bitcoin trading at $16,500 is a very good price for the long term. If you have a multi-year horizon and you're in cryptocurrency because you believe in decentralization and that the monetary system needs to be fixed, etc., etc., etc. If you have the will to stick around and see that vision actually play out, current prices are a bargain. But with everything on the table right now, we most likely even get better deals. And when Bitcoin, when it's trading for $50,000 to $100,000, the percentage gain from buying it at $16,500 versus buying it, say, at around $13,000, $12,000, the percentage gain is going to be much higher if you can get it at a lower price. So I know I have a lot of bottom snipers here in the community, a lot of people that want to catch the exact bottom. I successfully caught almost the exact bottom in 2020, in March of 2020 with that crash, right? I was very close to catching the exact bottom because I was just alert on the day and able to take out my phone and buy some crypto on that day. But it is fun, right? It's fun to try and go after that exact bottom, which is why I'm giving these worst case scenarios, because I know I'm not alone and there's a lot of bottom snipers out there looking to buy the absolute best price for this bear market. So that's what we're looking at right now for Bitcoin. I did discuss previously how a short squeeze was possible, and it still is, but it's looking less and less likely as of right now. It's looking like things are just going to continue to sell off. And all of the metrics, right? If we go to a weekly price chart, this weekly chart looks, look at this weekly chart. And there's no real support if we look to the left over here, right? There's no real support until these lower levels on our weekly chart. Right, we had a huge red weekly last week. This weekly is going to close in indecision. This candle will be closing in around 3 hours time on the weekly for Bitcoin. So there's no reason this isn't going to be a drop supply zone forming where we have that next continuation lower That's what I'm expecting for Bitcoin on the weekly, daily, very bearish too. So that's how we're looking right now in the higher term time frames. If we also took a look at Ethereum, ETH is holding up much better than Bitcoin on our weekly. If we look at the weekly, we're down in our gray zone. This is really the last critical support before 3-digit Ethereum again. Ethereum will be trading for, sub $1,000 very shortly here, which are going to be great prices for the long term again. So that's ETH on the weekly, right? We can see our main areas very easily here. If we go to the daily, we've just been sliding and chopping around. With today's sell-off, with the FTX hacker selling so many ETH into Bitcoin, notice how price action is telling us this is super bearish and weak. With our daily candle, our candle body right now is, if it closes around here, it's going to be the lowest close since the contagion sell-off from November 9th. All right, so ETH is showing a lot of weakness right now, and I'm expecting this to be trading for 3 figures relatively soon. After all this chopping, after this low volatility comes to an end, we're most likely going to have another massive capitulation. Now, in terms of what I've been trading, I really have not been crazy actively trading as of late, but I did take an Aptos APT short. What day of the week was this? This was on Wednesday. On Wednesday, I originally entered into my short position on Aptos. So with Aptos, it's really a huge VC-backed coin, and there's no reason for anybody to be buying this thing, right? This thing was pure pump and dump by venture capitalists. The tokenomics are really, really bad, and I was expecting another lower leg here on APT. So I said here 488 is the ideal entry, but I said anywhere between 460 to 488 is going to be good with a stop at 5. And we did almost nearly get wicked out on this APT short, but we managed to stay in it with the stop at $5 after the price pumped to $4.99. Right, we managed to stay in it. Now we're in significant profits with this APT short, as you can see. But this is really the only thing that I've been trading. It's just a brutal, choppy sideways market. But if you can actually get wins and make money trading in this bear market, the capital goes so much further because prices are so much lower. The way I think about things, right? Not even with trading, just money into the market right now in general. If you think that Bitcoin will trade for $60,000 again, if you think that Ethereum will go back up to 5K, I think Ethereum is going to go to $10,000 to $15,000 by 2024, 2025 roll around. If we can buy it for less than 1,000, and if you think Ethereum is going to go to 10,000, that means for every $1,000 we put in, we're going to be able to take 10 out basically. So your capital invested goes so much further right now, which is why it's so important to play this smart, which is why it's so important to stay tapped into the space and continue to basically accumulate what you want to accumulate for the long term. Because the way I think about it, $1 in now is going to be $10 to $100 in the future after or during this next bull run. So now is the time, now is the generational buying opportunity that we're going to look back on in a few years, and we're going to wish we had this time in history again. Like I said, $1 in right now is most likely, if you pick the right investment, it's going to be $10 to $100 you're going to be able to sell it for. So your capital, your liquidity goes so much further right now. So all my trading profits, I'm really just investing back into the markets. And that's how I'm playing it personally. Let me catch up with this live chat and see what's going on. We have Gilead26 saying, "Hi, Connor. Glad to catch you on the live stream. I'm not a trader. He's a long-term investor, but love your TA to get insights on great entry points. Thanks for what you do." My pleasure. I appreciate your support. I'm glad that you can learn from my TA as well. We have Jix8533 saying, "Yo, what's going on, Jix?" We have Torben saying, "Sit it on the sidelines with cash. If capitulates, what's your thoughts on where the bottom support could be?" Somewhere around $12,000 most likely. Jamie L saying, "Same Torben, patience is required at the moment, because we'll be going down further before any major upturn, more sales to come." Yes, I agree with that. Shout out to Woody saying, "Happy Sunday. Great to see Connor on a Sunday in sunny Washington State." Yes, indeed. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday, Woody. Anna Maria saying hello. What do you think about Voxel? Some price prediction. What do I think about Voxel? So this is another super low cap that I've never really heard about before. It is listed on all the major exchanges. Market cap $7 million. I'm not sure where it can go. It's down 95% from its high right now. So I'm not sure about that, Anna Maria. I don't know anything about this coin. Dr. Niraj Moore, can't they freeze the asset of the FTX hacker who owns 200K Ethereum? You would think so. You would think they could, but I'm not sure what they're going to do with that. Right? They froze other transactions on the Ethereum blockchain before. They know the address, so they should be able to do that. Where do you see Pirate Chain in the future? I see it higher than it is right now. Something like Pirate Chain is a privacy coin, so with this incoming regulation, that's another thing we need to talk about with crypto, the regulation that's incoming from the FTX collapse. The US wants to regulate crypto and really destroy the industry and just hold all the power as a monopoly. They want to have a monopoly over the money in the crypto industry, so it's going to be quite crazy. And the privacy coins are really going to most likely get a lot of scrutiny from these regulators. So as a proof of work cryptocurrency, it will always continue to mine blocks. It will always stay in motion as a network. The network won't go down, but it's just going to face a lot of bad press from the media. The age-old saying, there's no such thing as bad press, right? Whether it's good or bad, press is press. If you're being talked about, that's a good thing. I think that will reign true with privacy coins because people will wake up to the dangers of the central bank digital currencies and how bad they are for restricting your freedom. And it's going to come to a point where it's privacy coins or bust. And that's why I think Pirate Chain has potential to be very big in the future. Now, this chart on the daily looks horrible, right? If we're looking at this, we lost base support. This is a horizontal support level. We closed beneath it on our daily. Now we've retested it multiple times, and price is struggling to get back above this support level. Now resistance at 36 cents. So ultimately, I see this rolling over further. This is a very weak looking chart. The fact that it lost support, tried reclaiming and just can't. So this thing looks like it's headed lower. And we've already touched the 0.27 of this move at 33 cents. But our next levels are going to be 28 and then 25 cents for Pirate Chain. That's where I see it going in the short term. And while we're at it, let's take a look at Monero XMR. Same thing with Monero. Monero obviously is much bigger, much more significant than Pirate Chain. If you can only pick one, I would say to go with Monero. But if we look at XMR right now, this is our daily price chart, and it's also just been kind of chopping around. It's held up a lot better than a lot of other cryptocurrencies. These two big red candles were the November 9th crypto contagion capitulation crash so far. And notice how Monero, yeah, this looks like a 25% drop, 27%. But it didn't really make any new lows, and compared to a lot of other cryptos in the market, this is much stronger than a lot of other ones out there. Reason being, nobody wants to sell their Monero. Why would you sell Monero? There's a very limited amount of it available on exchanges. That's only going to increase, right? How basically scarce it is. And yeah, this thing is holding up much better than most. It did lose this trend line today. Everything here is most likely going to go lower. All right, so where's Monero going to head? I've already discussed this in previous streams and episodes. But if we see sub $100 XMR, that is a fantastic buying opportunity for the future. I doubt it stays below 100 for long. I don't think that this capitulation will be long-lived. I think it's going to be very short-lived. Quick flush out capitulation, limited amount of time to go ahead and get those very cheap prices, and then a bounce back up. And then we start some form of recovery uptrend. That's how it's gone in the past, and if history were to rhyme, it most likely will look something like that again. But regardless, Monero beneath $100, very good deal in my opinion. Andrea saying, hi, Connor. Glad you're back with us. Absolutely, Andrea. Absolutely. Moby saying, can you explain the Heikin Ashi candles? I don't know that candle type off the top of my head, Moby. I haven't read The Art of Japanese Candlesticks by Stephen Neeson in like 5 years, so I don't recall which one that is. White Jazz saying, Connor, you have a good entry on INJ. By the way, for anybody that wants to learn more TA, read that book that I just said, The Art of Japanese Candlesticks by Stephen Neeson. Very good book on technical analysis. Now, INJ right now, these are my scribbles from last week. And clearly we lost the trend line, so the bottom one is playing out here. If we're talking about a good entry on INJ, on our daily chart, the low so far from July is around $1.12. If we go to a weekly, though, my zone on the weekly is going to be 81 cents. All right, so listen to the TA. The TA saying 80 cents, 81 cents is a good entry. And this is a weekly demand level as well. So this is where I will be looking for capitulation on INJ. And this from current price, it's another 50%, which is most likely how things are going to play out here. Another 40-50% sell-off across altcoins, 30% plus on Bitcoin, Ethereum, very possible. So yeah, expect another 50% drop across most altcoins here. And just out of curiosity with Chainlink, another 50% drop would take this to 40% would take it. Yeah, I doubt Link goes this low. But if we see $3.50 Chainlink, that again is an amazing, amazing buying opportunity. It's possible. It's certainly possible. But really, anywhere beneath $5 on Link is an amazing buying opportunity. Link, one of the safest bets, I would say, in the crypto bear market right now. Andre saying, I want to see this channel at 100K before the next bull market. Well deserved. Thank you very much, Andrea. We're working for it. We're not going anywhere, and we will achieve that goal. So I appreciate your support, and thank you for being with me for the ride. Jamie L saying, I have my next bullseye on Quant at 90. I think you mean $90 and not 90 cents with that, Jamie. We take a look at Quant. Very interesting how fast time is flying by. I'm looking at this weekly price chart on Quant, and it seems like just yesterday it was the most bullish thing at the market. Everybody was going crazy about Quant. And it's now been, it's like 6 weeks since it broke its parabola. And it's been going down. Time really is flying by now. But if we look at this chart, it does look like an inverse head and shoulders off of this support at 96. Definitely a support level at $90, which I think is what Jamie was referring to. And then we have another one at 75. 75 is what I think is very possible. And if we take a measurement, that's going to be another 30%. I don't see Quant losing as much value in the next capitulation sell-off as many other cryptocurrencies out there. I think Quant will hold up better than most. So a modest 30% to $75 is a safer prediction for something like this. Don't expect 50-60% crashing on Quant. I think that's a bit of bearish euphoria. 30% more realistic. Andre, is Link a safe entry now at $6? Yes, but I think you'll get better prices. I think Link will easily, go up and touch around 80 to 100 at the peak of the next bull run. Speculation, not financial advice. So $6, yes, it's a good price now, but I think we'll be able to get lower. Gilly out 26 saying, I know you said ETH will go sub 1K soon, but how low do you estimate it'll go to? I have cash on the ready. I would say between $400 to $700 on Ethereum for the bottom. Torben saying, FTX assets in Bahamas, subsidiary frozen by Bahamas regulator. Who knows what's going on? Who knows what's going on with FTX in the Bahamas? I don't trust it. We'll see. Randy saying, hola, boy, the market is slow and sideways, set to explode soon, for sure. Moby saying, what's your ideal time frame to chart Fibonacci levels? 4-hour, daily, weekly. Higher the time frame is always going to be more reliable when it comes to your TA, so at least the 4-hour I would look for, daily as well. But the Fib works on all time frames because it's all based on fractals, and fractals play out regardless of the time frame. But always, the higher the time frame, the more reliable the technical analysis. So the higher the better. CR08 saying, Connor, with the Arbitrum airdrop around the corner, have you got any low cap ARB gems in mind that can 100x, such as Radiant Capital, etc.? Not necessarily. CR08, haven't really been putting too much attention into that Arbitrum ecosystem. Mainly, I would just go with the higher conviction plays on Arbitrum like GMX. Right, GMX, one of the strongest plays in crypto as of right now. Decentralized exchanges set to absolutely explode over the coming years. GMX is positioned to be, if not the biggest, one of the biggest ones. So I would stick with the safer ones. I have my eyes on other ones for 100x, not in the Arbitrum ecosystem. Yazim saying, hey Connor, I hope you are well. Can you do more airdrop videos, please? For sure. Yazim saying, Connor, what do you think about Pulse Chain and Pulse X? We'll see what happens with those. But yeah, I will cover the other airdrops that are set to be coming out soon, for sure. And with Pulse Chain and Pulse X, going to be a lot of hype in the beginning. We'll see how long they actually, stick around for. Yazim saying, Crypto Empire, the best crypto channel on YouTube. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you for your support. All right, guys, let's catch up with some current events in crypto. So what's going on with FTX? Well, Kevin O'Leary was a very adamant spokesperson about the exchange, publicly talking about how great it was, how he's an investor in it. And more recently, BitBoy is really on a tear on his social media channels, really trying to go after everybody and, prove. It's like he has a chip on his shoulder to prove that he has the community's best interest at heart after years and years and years of very shady behavior, right? He's trying to salvate his name, his brand, right? Make him look good again in the public eye. So we have BitBoy going after Kevin O'Leary. He's saying, all right, Kevin O'Leary has really pissed me off. You want war, Kevin? You got it. Ask your buddy Sam how that worked for him. Gloves are coming off. You just bought your one-way ticket to eradication in this space. And Kevin O'Leary going back at BitBoy saying, bring it on, bozo. I eat guys like you for lunch unless there are too many calories. I'm trying to keep my Adonis figure in shape. Really crazy what we're seeing right now in the world of crypto. I mean, listen, Kevin O'Leary for sure is a sellout, right? He even defended Sam Bankman-Fried after FTX imploded. He said he would back Sam again with another investment. So he's for sure bought and paid for, very similar to how Bitcoin, or BitBoy I should say, has also been bought and paid for heavily in the past. So really two wrongs don't make a right. Both of these people I don't really trust, but it's just absurd to see what is happening in the crypto industry right now. And as Bitcoin is saving is saying, definitely a lot of cringe here. Really, it's absurd what's happening with BitBoy and his behavior nowadays. Really crazy. Moving on. So Grayscale also in very hot water. Grayscale may be forced to liquidate their Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. They're saying they're perfectly fine. They're saying they're not going to have to do anything, which is what all the big institutions always say right before they go bust. So we're keeping an eye on this about the Grayscale situation, but it does not look good for them. And Miles from Crypto Banter has a very long, good thread about everybody in trouble over the FTX collapse. This is from a few days ago. And he's basically talking about how all these big funds are in huge losses. Talking about these funds, right? A lot of them had big FTX exposure. Sino Global, $300 million. Pantera Capital, 3% of their assets under management in FTX. Sequoia Capital, legendary trader at Sequoia, he had around 63.5 million and 150 million in FTX. Multicoin Capital, one of the largest crypto VCs. The list really just goes on and on and on and on. And now we get into the lenders. BlockFi going bankrupt. Genesis, which is connected with Grayscale, also lending out $2.4 billion, now in a significant strain. Gemini Earn pausing all withdrawals from their platform. And talking about Genesis and the Grayscale Bitcoin in a liquidity crunch, it's going to get ugly from here. This is not over. The contagion is not over. The list goes on with all this negative stuff happening. And, you know, that's why I made the title of this live stream today, Prepare for the Worst Case Scenario for Bitcoin, because it is playing out. There's no reason for this to make some kind of speedy recovery right now. Everything, every indicator, every trend, all analysis really is pointing to lower prices right now. And Bitcoin is looking very weak. We're seeing this daily candle today forming a bit of a red bar. And this is going to give out eventually, and we're going to get that next capitulation. So again, just prepare for that. It's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows, but it will be a generational buying opportunity here. Let's go ahead and catch up with this live chat. Thomas saying, great job. What do you think about VRA? I like VRA still as an altcoin. I think VRA has a future, but it's still getting pounded right now in the short term in terms of its price action. We have to go to a weekly price chart to really get a better look at this. And VRA on the weekly is not looking very strong at all. It looks like it's headed sub 20% of 1 penny. My next level down here is going to be 0.0018. This is another 30% away to the next level. But VRA always gets crushed a lot more than the other coins when we have these large sell-offs. So I wouldn't even be surprised to see VRA drop another 50% to around 12% of 1 penny. That would take it to. So yeah, VRA, I like it. But with that being said, I think you're going to get some crazy low prices on it here before the end of this year, 2022. McNess saying, Connor, what do you think the ETH bottom will be? Already went over it. I think between $400 to $700 is a safe bet for the Ethereum bottom. If we look at this weekly, this is a clean chart. Again, if we look at this image of what we're seeing, this is a weekly base support trend line. All right, last week breached. A weekly trend line has a lot of weight. Like I was just saying, the higher the time frame, the more reliable the technical analysis. When you see a weekly trend line break like this on Ethereum, you know it's going to get a little bit bad. All right, so this is just basically the first course out of the 7-course dinner, and yeah, course number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are going to be getting served up real soon, which means basically Ethereum is going to drop down here to $700 to $400 in this demand level. Really clean picture here. Base support breached. Maybe we get a retest of the trend line. Maybe not. If we do, it's going to be a good short around here. But seriously doubt ETH gets even back up to $1,400 at this point. I would just expect lower personally. That's what I'm waiting for. And listen, I hope this sell-off comes quick, because I'm still holding this Aptos short. Right, Aptos, what an absolute garbage coin. And it's been in this rising channel. And again, what do we have? We have a daily base support breach. This channel, this is a support trend line. We've now lost it. All right, so I'm holding this short. I'm expecting this thing to go to like $2. All right, and that's going to be another 50%. So we'll see what happens. But hopefully this next sell-off comes this upcoming week. Andrea saying, what's your thoughts on Theta? I bought a ton of $10 and down 99%, but still holding. I like Theta. Theta is a great crypto because of their decentralized streaming services, very similar in a way to VRA, but a little bit different at the same time. And looking at Theta as well on this daily chart, not looking too strong. Not looking very strong at all, really. So this is, it's just going sideways after this huge crash. This crash on Theta, 34%. Rallied 20%. And yeah, still kind of holding this wedge formation despite all the volatility. But once this line is officially lost, this is really the main support. Once this lower trend line is officially lost, this thing is out for the count. And if you're already down 99%, Andrea, you're going to be down another 99%. So Theta 70 cents looks likely. And then 64 to 55 is going to be your higher term time frame demand level. So I like it. I think it will recover. Theta was a top 10 coin at the peak of the last bull run. Just been getting pounded ever since. But this is your main base support. This descending trend line now on Theta. This is what's been holding price. As soon as this is lost, looks weak right now, we come and test these lower levels. Now remember this image. Remember this descending support trend line like this. I want to show you the stock market. Stock market isn't done crashing either, by the way. But if we look at stocks on this 3-day price chart, notice very similar image, right? We have a descending support trend line. This is what's been holding stocks. Every time stocks come around this trend line area, we see a nice big bounce, right? Every single time so far. Now, remember this image because we're going to go back in time a little bit to 2008, right? We can scroll back on the chart here. And if we look at 2007, 2008, if we take a date and time measurement, this is April of 07 to October of 2008. Notice what happened here for 532 days, right? Almost 2 years. Price was trading in this descending channel, and it had again this descending support trend line, very similar to the image that I just showed you of current times with SPX, with the S&P 500 chart. In 2007, 2008, when price lost, by the way, from the top to that breach, it was already down 25%, and then it had capitulation. Once it lost this descending support trend line, this base support breach here, never retested either, right? It just broke. But from that break, stocks went ahead and crashed another 42%. Now again, we go back to current times. That was the brutal 2008 market collapse. Look at what we have here. We have this down similar, right? I just showed you 25% in 2007 to 2008 before the major base support breach. Same exact fractal is playing out right now in the stock market, right? Down 25% from the high. Come back to this base support. We lose it. Expect another 40% here on stocks, all right? 42%. Nah, there's no way it goes to 2,000. I would say more around the 3,000 level, which is going to be, yeah, another, I would say 15 to 20% on the next stock market crash is a relatively safe bet. Around 3,000 is what I'm seeing. If we just, it's a horizontal level on our 3-day and weekly time frame. So this is where I think stocks are going to be crashing to, and it's going to bring crypto down with it. Stocks, no reason for them to stay inflated at this point. VIX still hasn't spiked yet. Okay, I've brought up the VIX a lot in previous videos, in regards to how to spot the bear market bottom, the VIX always spikes when we have that massive capitulation, right? We can look at the VIX here. This is very good stuff to know. But every time the VIX spikes to around 45 to 50, we tend to mark some kind of bottom in stocks and in crypto, right? Over here, January of 2018. Again, March 2020, VIX spiked, crypto bottom then. That was the generational bottom before the previous bull run, or before that bull run we just experienced, I should say. Now, if we look at the VIX, it hasn't spiked yet. It hasn't spiked up to this yellow line around 48.50. I'm expecting the stock market to crash. I'm also expecting the VIX to spike and crypto to crash as well. These are some indicators that I am watching for to know when we're really going to get that actual real capitulation and when it's time to go hunting for that crypto bottom. But yeah, the VIX has not spiked. When it does spike up to around 50, that is usually a very strong indication that a local bottom is in. Really a macro bottom, I should say, not a local bottom. Hope that makes sense, everybody. A little bear market bottom timing lesson. Let's see what else is going on in this live chat. Gilead26 saying, I would like to hear your opinion on ICP. Technology and investment wise. So technology wise, it's another Ethereum competitor, smart contract platform. Ethereum is, the number one smart contract platform, and that's not going to change. All these other ones are basically Ethereum copycats in a way. Yes, they do improve on their technology, etc. But I've already talked about it here in the channel. In terms of other layer ones, I think some of the best technology is with a coin like Elrond with a layer one smart contract platform. Also Glimmer right now at 35 cents in the buy zone that I talked about months ago. Another one I think is pretty promising for the next bull run. It's Ethereum on Polkadot basically. So yeah, in terms of ICP, its technology isn't really revolutionary or anything like that. It's not crazy special. There's a lot of competition with what ICP is. And in terms of its price, look, this was another heavily VC coin. This is something like Aptos, where the VCs basically got all the supply. They were able to dump it on retail very early on, and it's just down like 99% from that point. So it's very hard for stuff like this to recover. It takes a lot of time for it to recover, so the price has just been getting smashed. And again, we have this formation of this descending support trend line, and it's looking like it wants to give again and lose this line and for ICP to crash. But I don't love this project. I don't own any of it. I never have owned any of it. But yeah, there's nothing special to me about ICP. Hope that makes sense. Moby can't believe that sand is under 60 cents. Believe it. Right? It's probably going to go lower too. Badger saying, hi Connor, thoughts on a floor for near? So near on the weekly looks worse than most. And this is most likely for reasons that I discussed last week. A lot of these big institutions, crypto hedge funds, venture capitalist firms, got into the near seed round, right? They were the early investors. And what happens when you run out of money? You need to sell your assets, right? So these people, they're holding near. These firms are holding near. They need to sell it, which is why this chart looks just abysmal, right? This thing looks horrible, this chart. These are weekly candles. Nobody's buying. There's no buyers here. Of course, price will find buyers eventually. That's what it's doing right now. But in terms of where this could possibly bottom out, definitely a level at 130, and also definitely a level at around $1 to $1.08. It really depends how bad these VC coins are affected by all of the VCs going bankrupt, basically. So yeah, but to answer your question, $1 to $1.30, safe kind of conservative play for near. If you're trying to snipe a bottom on it from current price, you're looking at another 33%. And anywhere below $1, if this coin were to survive, anywhere below $1, you're at over a 20x back up to the all-time high at $20. So there's no saying it will ever make its way back up to that all-time high. But if you look at it from where it's previously been and where you think it can go in the future, then, below $1 and near, you have a 20x back up to the all-time high, which is pretty good looking. Delio saying, is Bitcoin Cash a good investment for the price that it is on the moment? So Bitcoin Cash is around $100 right now. Bitcoin Cash, tends to do very well in bull markets. This previous time around, it went to $1,600. It's been higher in the past if we look at the all-time high for Bitcoin Cash. Right, all-time high in the 2017 top was $3,700 for BCH. It made its way to about half of that in the last bull run, 2021, at $1,650. So current price for sure is a good deal. Now, if you notice, it did go as low as $87 with that capitulation on November 9th, 11 days ago. So yeah, right now, I have a lot of conviction that the original proof of work cryptocurrencies, things like Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Monero, those are my favorites, really. You can count Zcash in there and stuff like that, but Zcash doesn't compete with Monero at all. And when you have Bitcoin and Litecoin on the table too, there's really no use for something like Zcash. But the OG proof of work cryptos, I have very strong conviction that they're going to stick around and they're going to be successful over the long term. Because it's really hard for the regulators to go after these proof of work cryptocurrencies. You can't shut down the network, because in order to do that, you would have to go all around the world and find everybody who's running a node for the network and destroy their node. Basically impossible. Sure, you can put up laws saying that it's illegal to run a node for the network, but nobody will know that you're doing that, right? It's impossible to find the location of every single one. The network will always continue to mine blocks. It will stay up no matter what, meaning that everybody can send censorship-free transactions, permissionless transactions, no matter what. So the proof of work cryptos, the cryptos that were created with the original ethos of cryptocurrency behind it to give you power over your own money, I have a lot of conviction that they will be very successful over the long term. And Bitcoin Cash is in that list. We're going to see what happens with the Bitcoin miners, right? There's a lot of potential black swans on the table. We're going to see if Bitcoin miners get frustrated and they start mining something else. They can go back to BCH, right? Start mining that just to make money, right? Because they're in such negative, their balance sheets look so bad right now because they've been mining Bitcoin and the price of Bitcoin just keeps on dropping. So they're heavily in the red. They're going to have to capitulate eventually. So just so many things on the table right now. When it comes to the market, a lot of potential black swans. But yeah, Bitcoin Cash, good price right now. I think it will go lower though. Listen, if we see this thing, sub 100 is a really crazy deal. $76 is your 0.27 Fibonacci extension level. And that would be a good price level to scoop some up at. That's another 30% drop. But regardless, sorry to go off on too much of a tangent about my proof of work cryptos. But yeah, BCH, good price right now. But I think it will go lower. Juan Mattis saying like fellows. Absolutely, Juan. Thank you for your support. Definitely like the stream. Smash that like button right now. Torben Nielsen, you think it would be wise at this time to unify rather than infighting in the industry? Yeah, you would think so. You would think so, Torben, but some people love the attention, so they're going to do what they want. Andy talking about Caspa. So I'm not sure why this thing is pumping so much. We'll look at it for the excitement of these green candles. So yeah, what is going on with Caspa? I mean, there's nothing to talk about. Definitely not the time to be buying this, right? You should not be buying when it's at all-time highs in the middle of a bear market in a crypto contagion. But I don't know what this thing is. It gets brought up every week in my lives, but I would not recommend buying it, especially right now. But congratulations if you're making money on it. That's awesome for you. But it really came out of nowhere, which is why I don't really trust it that much. Jamie saying he reckons sand is a no-brain pickup right now. Got a few yesterday. I mean, a lot of things are no-brain pickup. Bitcoin, 16K, really a no-brain pickup. Sand, 56 cents on our daily chart. If the daily candle closes here, that's a very bearish daily close. That will be the lowest daily close so far of the bear market if sand were to close down here. Yeah, this chart getting crushed. It looks very similar to a lot of other charts out there. And on our weekly below current price, our next level, it's not too far away at 48 cents. We have some more down here at around 41. But yeah, sand is like the Bitcoin of all the metaverse coins. It's the leader. Whatever sand does, the rest of them tend to follow. So basically leads that index of the market. Torben saying, Masari got a running commentary on current events on FTX. Let's check that out real quick. Yeah, Masari always has very good information. One of the best crypto info sites out there for sure. I'm not sure what they're saying over FTX right now, but we'll see. David, would you open any new shorts on Bitcoin or ETH in today's environment? I would be more interested in shorting ETH over Bitcoin. I personally wouldn't look to open something now. I'm short Aptos right now, a very weak altcoin, right? So this is my current short exposure, and if this short hits, I mean, it's going to be, or it's going to go super long with that capital that I can use to reinvest back into the market. Again, your profits go so much further in a bear market, which is why it's super important to eliminate large losses and just be consistent with your edge. Let your edge play out and stack the wins. Now, ETH right now, we'll see. I wanted to see if we'll get a pump back up or if it's just going to collapse this week. Something tells me it's just going to be a collapse, but that's my speculation. But if we see ETH try and make it back up to the 1300 to around 1350, 1360, that would be ideal to short, right, in this area for ETH. Now, not really, after a daily candle like this, but I would like to see it make its way back up if I were to short it. Now, Litecoin just got rejected from $64 this morning. Unfortunately, I missed this entry. But right, like if I was to be able to get in at 64, I would 100% short it. Now is not a bad time, but it's not ideal. Reason being, if we look at this clear support level down here at $61.82, exactly where current price is. Litecoin got rejected from 64, retested the support, tried to reclaim it. Now it looks like it might just be kissing off before the big collapse. But I would like to see Litecoin, just like ETH, I want to see it come back up slightly. If Litecoin came back up to around $63, I would short it. 64 even better right at this level. But this looks weak, right? This looks like a topping pattern to me. Getting rejected from the 64 level, looks topped. And yeah, it would be a bit risky to enter into the short now because you need to place your stop in the correct place and above the highs. Actually, it's only around 5%. It's not even that bad. But we'll see. This looks super weak regardless. And if we're going to talk bottom prices for Litecoin, right? Litecoin easily is going to be a $300 coin again. The all-time high of Litecoin, right? These are top 25 cryptos here. We're not trying to go into page 5 of CoinGecko, into the 500 to 600 market cap ranks to find coins that are going to like 10x. All-time high of Litecoin is $410. Litecoin crashed so far as low as $40. I think it's possible it goes back between 30 to 40. But if we see $30 to $40 Litecoin, it's an almost guaranteed 10x back up to its all-time high prices. And I think it can go beyond that as well because Litecoin is the silver to Bitcoin's gold. And regardless, anywhere between $40 to $30 is a buy on Litecoin on this next capitulation. I hope it does go that low. But in terms of short-term trading here, $64 looks like it's a local top. It looks like a topping pattern. And unfortunately, I missed that entry earlier. But we'll see if we get a move back up to this resistance level. I will 100% look to short it. And watch for the loss of these levels I have, especially 61.82, exactly where current price is. Vazir saying, if the majority of Bitcoin comes off exchanges, won't that exacerbate volatility due to lack of volume? So yeah, with everybody withdrawing all of their Bitcoin from exchanges, it's really interesting because people don't trust centralized exchanges nearly as much as they used to, obviously with FTX going down. And we don't really know how these exchanges are manipulating their holdings. There's only 21 million Bitcoin, and the way Bitcoin has been used with these centralized entities, it's been like fractional reserve banking, where somebody will deposit, 1 Bitcoin in, they'll lend out like 90% of it, they'll only keep, 10% or less of it. So it's going to be a little bit crazy if there's a real bank run on all these exchanges. But yeah, you would think it would exacerbate with the lack of volume. Another reason why I think we're going to get this next contagion sell-off. There's too many potential black swans on the table with everything going on. Everybody was just too over-leveraged, hundreds of millions, billions of dollars. Now there's just liquidity crunches across the board. The retail sentiment is at rock bottom. So just nuke this thing already, really, is where my head is at. Nas asking for Rune and AR. So we know that the crypto regulations are going to want to crush all of the decentralized exchanges. Thorchain, one of the biggest DEXs, decentralized exchanges out there. And they recently announced single-sided staking liquidity providing for things like Bitcoin and Ethereum, where you can earn a few modest 2-3% by depositing some of your coins into the Thorchain pools. It's a little bit risky, though, because it does sell off that Bitcoin you put in and it buys synthetic Bitcoin. So there is some risk involved, but Thorchain, they want to really be here for the long term and they're building for the long term. The regulations, I think, are only going to help them out and drive more popularity to them. But if we're going to talk price right now in the 4-hour, notice what we have. We have a base support again being breached. This is very bearish. Price was compressing in a bit of a triangular formation. And we have now breached this base support. This only started within the hour. Okay, so Our levels, $1.08 is going to be our next support. And below that, we have $1. And after that, it's new lows for Thorchain. But back to, if anybody remembers Thorchain from 2020, before it exploded, 86 cents. I don't even have to look at the chart, but I know that Thorchain spent a ton of time around this level at 86 cents. Just look at this pocket of liquidity. Most likely Rune is going to find its bottom somewhere in this mess. In the mid 80s, 80 to 90 cents for Rune. And the all-time high of Thorchain, did it make it to 20 this past bull run? I want to say it made it to $20. I know for sure it was at 15. Yeah, $20.87. And it's looking like it's going to come back beneath $1 again. So, yeah, Rune losing base support right now. Very bearish. So watch for the next levels to get tested. It would be pretty late to enter into a short now. You would want to look for a retest to hop into a short trade. Back into this, back to the trend line, or even just to this supply zone. We have a drop base drop. Right, so we'll see if you get a retest to hop into a short, but this has already started to break down, losing this trend line. Now R-weave. Again, if we go to this daily, okay, so AR bouncing from the bottom of its range at 870. Notice every time price comes to this yellow dotted line, it either deviates and reclaims or it just bounces from the bottom of this range. But notice, especially after this most recent bounce, so before the FTX collapse, all these coins were breaking ranges to the upside. Right? AR is no different. This thing broke out to the upside, but FTX collapsed right back to the bottom of the range. Now it didn't go beneath the bottom of this range. It is still continuous lower highs though, right? Every time the highs are getting lower and lower and lower. If you look at the candle body, closes on the most recent high, lower. So yeah, this is setting up for a breakdown of this support level at $8.70. And the low beneath that is $7.10. And below that, there's no data on the chart. So let's see if we can find the all-time low. It's 29 cents from 2020. All right, so this chart on Binance doesn't give us all that data. None of these charts really do. Yeah, this thing wasn't traded on any big exchange. Okay, here we go. It was on Huobi. So this is a weekly for R-weave. Make sure we can see our price label here with these lines. So beneath the current support levels, we have $5, $5.80. To around 450. That makes sense. That's another around 50% from current prices. Yeah. All right, so 450 to 580 is where I would look for a bottom on AR. Are we talking about Raven Coin? Yep, forgot to mention that one, but for sure. Randy's saying, what is the best stable coin to keep money in until it's time to get back in? BUSD is safe, or USDC. Tether, who knows what's going to happen with Tether? Talks about it imploding. So if that happens, it's going to be pretty catastrophic for the market. I only have money in Tether that I'd actively trade with. That's it. Lucio is saying, if you don't have money to dollar cost average, what should you do? Sell off everything, all positions I'm taking? So I would say to hold what you have, like Chris said, and then any spare capital you have, look to deploy it at the bottom. And then in the meantime, definitely just work super hard and get your cash flow up is super important, especially right now in the economic conditions we're in. Riley asking, what are my buy areas for Link? Anywhere sub 5 on Link is good. Now, CSPR. So I've already talked about this in all of my previous streams, so I'm not going to redo the TA. Long story short, my Fibonacci extension beneath the lows is at 1.7 cents. That's my low for Casper that I would expect to form some kind of bottom. We got Trucker Steve with us today. Big shout out to Jamie, by the way, saying, come on, guys, up the likes for Connor. He's giving us his time and knowledge for free. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. Steve saying, Trucker Steve, thanks for being here. TO transfer XMR into Trust Wallet. It says send only Monero. ETC20. What is ETC20? Thanks. So, Trucker, I don't have a Trust Wallet for XMR. I would look into something like Atomic Wallet or just the Monero GUI. I'm not sure why Trust Wallet is saying to send it on the ETC20 network. Not really sure about that. But yeah, I would just say use something like Atomic Wallet over Trust for XMR. Safest is obviously the Monero GUI, and that's on getmonero.org, the official Monero website. Getmonero.org. Go choose wallet, and the GUI is basically your standard desktop wallet. Best one to use. But if you can't use it, I would recommend something like Atomic. Cake Wallet, also very good for Monero. What up, Tintin? Good to see you here in the live chat. So it looks like Bitcoin is selling off right now. Yeah, like I was saying, all stream, something has to give here. There's no reason for this thing to stay strong. Nobody's buying right now. Everybody is just, big funds are kind of being forced to sell possibly so they can come up with capital to pay off their loans because they're so over leveraged. So Bitcoin trading for $16,280 right now, testing our lower support level, as we can see. And anybody short right now? Oof, Aptos, let's go. Perfect. Yeah, this was expected. This market is weak. There's no reason for anybody to step in and put in large, huge orders right now. Everybody has the general consensus that we're going lower. We're expecting more crises to develop and come to light in the wake of the FTX collapse. And yeah, everything is looking super weak. But we have some people asking about Cardano. Cardano also looking quite weak. Again, just lost base support here on this daily candle. And this thing is about to form new bear market lows. So ADA continues to be one of the weakest coins on the market. Now the bottom of my green area is at 23 cents. I would say it's a safe assumption to say that Cardano is headed here, which is only another 25%. But this is our next level for ADA. Below that, we have 17 cents for Cardano. And from current price, that would be a 44% drop, which is pretty likely. We're going to see if this is the start of the actual sell-off or if prices just start to bounce before we chop more to start the week. But this could very well be the start of the next big sell-off contagion. We're here for it. We'll see if it is. Who knows? TA Blue saying BTC is dropping hard. What's going on? Yeah, no news or nothing besides the FTX disaster. Pretty much, really no more new news. It's just a weak market right now. Tintin saying, is 88 ecosystem even usable? Just checking if there's any good apps. I don't use it, Tintin. Ever since we pretty much got lied to during the last bull market and how 88 was finally going to have smart contracts with the big update. I believe that was the Alonzo hard fork. The hard fork happened, but all that was the enablement of developers to start building their smart contracts. It was just let down after let down for ADA. So yeah, I'm not sure anybody who uses the actual kind of blockchain, but there's a lot better ones out there. What up, TA Blue? Looking for Atom. We can take a look at Cosmos Atom. So Atom on our daily. Also looking not too good. So this is significant, this drop we're having right now, because all these coins are now breaching the support levels that were tested by the November 9th sell-off. All right, so everything is testing those support levels that previously held for the bounce. We're now back and they look heavy. Everything looks like it's ready to roll over and collapse further. And Atom is no different, all right? My base support level on Atom is down here at $6. This purple line, this is where I do foresee Atom going in the short to mid term here. Could be as quickly as this week. This is the real next sell-off. You know, Atom headed to $6. What's that, only 20%? Okay, 34%, not bad. But if we see Atom sub 5, right down here at this line at 436, that would be an amazing buying opportunity. But yeah, this is now testing the support level that previously held on the November 9th sell-off, now losing it. So very significant. A lot of other coins look the exact same right now. Just very weak looking charts. But regardless, the main thing you need to know about Atom is $6 is your base support level. What happens if XRP loses to the SEC? Their token price is going to tank. And then the SEC will probably just start going after everybody else that they can declare security. Gilia asking about Glimmer. Now, right now is an entry point that I discussed months ago on Glimmer. And we did get there. Right, 34 to 25 cents. This gray box is kind of my bear market buying area. But the way this looks, it looks like it wants to come down to 25. So sub 30 is definitely a good entry. And where do I see it going? A few bucks, for sure, a few bucks. If we look at this, it's already went as high as around 13. So even if it just goes back up to $5 to $10, you have a very nice gain on the table here for Glimmer. Thoughts on Algo? We'll take a look at Algo Rand. So Algo on the daily, pretty funny. I was watching this pump this past week on Friday. I didn't trust this pump. I was wondering what the heck was going on with Algo to cause this thing to pump back up to resistance, but most likely just an exit liquidity pump. People, big traders, big funds need to sell. They pump the price a little bit. I don't even need to draw a trend line, right? I can just draw my squiggly line, and you see this base support breach. So now support broke, and we're headed back to the lows on Algo. And if we head back over to a weekly price chart, this thing's got lower to go from here. Next level, 21 cents to 18 cents on Algorand. Zilliqa, a good coin. It's okay. Zilliqa, one of the OGs, the original sharding blockchain, also getting crushed on the weekly, on the daily too, just like all of our other coins we've been discussing, coming back down to test that support level that was originally tested during the crash on November 9th when FTX originally imploded. Zilliqa coming back down too. It looks like it's about to lose it. But Zilliqa definitely lost a lot of market share to all the other new sharding layer 1 blockchains out there. And GRT also looking horrible. You see my next level, my line's already at 3.94 cents. There's a reason I put that line there. I'm not sure what it is. I don't remember doing it. But I keep my lines on the chart for a reason, and 4 cents is your next level on GRT. But guys, we'll be going for an hour and 15 minutes. We discussed a lot of TA, looking at various altcoins, talking about where that potential bottom may be. Now we have to keep a watch on the developments with the FTX collapse and all the collateral damage, all the other big players that are in hot water because of it. And the market's looking quite weak right now. This could be the week of capitulation. I hope it is. Hopefully we just get it over with. But there are a lot of potential black swans on the table right now, and you need to be ready for them to play out and for things to stay ugly for a prolonged period of time. All right, so yeah, it's a little bit crazy right now in the crypto market, but we're making the most of it. Now, I will be having my big Black Friday sale for my Discord group and my course. Details will be announced about that on Thanksgiving or Black Friday. It's going to be a limited amount of time. So I'll let you know all about that, but it's going to be exciting. So if you guys want to become a part of my inner community, it's going to be the best opportunity ever to go ahead and do that. So I'll let you know the details about that towards the end of this upcoming week. And yeah, I appreciate everybody's support. Now, if anybody has any questions in the meantime, join my free Telegram group. But for now, it's time to wrap up this live stream. Thank you for attending. Thank you for engaging with me. And thank you for all of your support. Another awesome live stream in the books. Let's see if we get this final capitulation this week. Like I said, it certainly looks like it is starting to form. But I hope that you enjoyed the stream. I'll see you all throughout the week with my regular videos. Have an amazing start to your week. Any questions, again, join my free Telegram group, Connor from Crypto Empire.